Chapter 381 Kill Without Spilling Blood. Thunder Hunter, what are you trying to do? I warn you, don't mess around. The Marine Vice Admiral Momonga, who was in charge of escorting Judge and the others, couldn't help but turn pale in shock and hurriedly spoke up. Hee, why am I messing around? Hearing this, Shajir-Ching laughed, and then he sat down on the bow of the boat and said, I just want to say, if you want to threaten, you can do it in an upright manner, don't be like some people. After a certain distance before the threat begins. Quote. This kind of stubborn appearance is really cheap. Momonga Vice Admiral. As soon as these words came out, the judge's face in front of Shajir-Ching immediately turned into a pig liver color from anger. After all, if the distance of thousands of meters is too short, wouldn't it be embarrassing to admit it after being caught up? You said so, Vinsmoke Mr. Judge. Shajir-Ching's face was full of sarcasm, causing Judge's angry gasps to thicken, his eyes staring like copper bells, covered with bloodshots, blood red. Crackling. The judge at the moment, that is a powder keg, and the fist squeezed makes a loud noise. As long as Shajir-Ching stimulates him again, he will completely explode. Seeing this, Reiju couldn't help but look nervous in an instant. Judge can't beat Shajir-Ching. If he is captured again, wouldn't the billion be a waste? But, Mr. Momonga, Miss Vinsmoke Reiju, we will have an appointment later. However, Shajir-Ching suddenly restrained and left. This surprised Momonga, even a little confused, and then, only felt a chill hit her heart. Shajir-Ching's method, this is really terrible. After angering Judge to a critical point, he suddenly stopped breathing, making Judge's anger completely unable to vent, and making the onlookers see him as a joke. How proud Shajir-Ching is, then how embarrassed Judge is. It is conceivable that after this, the majesty of the Vinsmoke Judge, I don't know how much to reduce. What is killing without blood, that's it. Thunder Hunter, I feel more and more that I can't leave you, you are really terrible. Momonga looked at Shajir-Ching who fell on the sea and left as if walking on the ground, and thought so in her heart. Asshole. It wasn't until Shajir-Ching left a distance of nearly 500 meters that Judge burst into a monstrous anger. But his anger is meaningless, because he has no object to vent at all. Momonga couldn't help but glanced at him with pity, and quickly looked away, so as not to provoke Judge who was still a powder keg. He didn't want to be haunted by Judge. Ha ha ha. Vaguely, Momonga could hear the laughter coming from the island of 9 snakes. This ability to walk on the sea level, no matter how many times you connect, still feels amazing. In the end, how is this done? What kind of realm does it take to cultivate a simple fighting technique to achieve it? If it is a devil fruit ability, then what kind of ability is this? It allows him to have the ability to manipulate lightning and walk on the sea at the same time. Ability. Quote. Momonga is quite puzzled. However, his doubts are destined to be unanswered. What a shame, how can the Kingdom of Germa still have a foothold in North Blue now? I heard that they have been attacked by more than a dozen countries recently, and they have suffered heavy damage. HMPH, I think he deserves it. When that guy wiped out his conscience and helped the evil forces, he would have thought of today. Throughout the first half of the Great Route, things are being discussed about the Kingdom of Germa. However, it's basically all sarcasm, sneer. There are hardly anyone who speaks for the Kingdom of Germa. Chapter 382 With Blood, Establish Majesty. In just a few days, the Germa Kingdom has changed from a situation where no one dared to breathe under the rule of North Blue, into a territory that is now broken and beaten by thousands of people, with enemies on all sides. Many old and miserable kingdoms that were once bullied by the Germa Kingdom have now seized the opportunity. It was completely with the determination to destroy the Kingdom of Germa. There are even rumors that the Kingdom of Germa will be deprived of the qualifications of the world government. This made the ferocious pirates in North Blue suddenly all ready to move. They coveted the Kingdom of Germa, not a day or two. If it's really like the rumors say, then they really did. As a result, it can be seen that the hostile pirates on weekdays, these days, there has been a rare short-term peace, all wandering around the Germa kingdom. This made the entire North Blue situation suddenly tense. At this point, if Judge said he had no regrets, it would be true or false. If he doesn't covet the island mobile technology of the Summer Chamber of Commerce of the Qing dynasty, he won't arrest those scientific researchers. It will not lose 1 billion, damage the reputation, and even the kingdom is now threatened, no longer prosperous. But Judge is more aware that it is too late to regret it now. Regret is useless now. The most important thing in front of their Germa kingdom now is to ask for the current predicament, expel these enemies, and return to their original position. Shock the entire North Blue, and let everyone rely on their breath in front of them. So, the first thing they need to do is to clear up the rumors of being disqualified from the world government membership. Why did those pirates and those attacking kingdoms dare to touch the kingdom of Germa? It's not because they feel that the qualifications for joining the kingdom of Germa are no longer there, so they have no scruples. And the best way to clarify this rumor is to invite people from the world government to come here. As a result, members of the world's official government directly under the secret highest espionage agency CP0 have arrived. In addition to bringing the information that the qualifications of the official member states of the Germa kingdom are still valid, they also brought the assistance of Marine. Immediately, the kingdoms that were still clamoring for them all fell apart one by one, and even some kingdoms began to apologize directly, and flatteredly ask the kingdom of Germa for forgiveness. But none of the wandering pirates escaped, and they were all captured under the siege of Marine's powerful forces. Marine can be described as a bumper harvest. After clearing up these troubles, Judge, who must take revenge, begins to take revenge. He began to carry out indiscriminate and bloody revenge against North Blue, and he wanted to re-establish his prestige in the war. As a result, the already chaotic North Blue has completely turned into a black area of war. The entire North Blue people also understand what it means to be swept away by blood and corpses. I also understand what the terror of being dominated by the kingdom of Germa is. In the entire North Blue, 15 kingdoms were destroyed, and 30 kingdoms paid a painful price to barely save their lives. The number of innocent people who died reached millions. Homeless and displaced people, even tens of millions. Judge re-established the majesty of their Germa kingdom, North Blue, and once again entered the situation where the Germa kingdom is the only one. Chapter 383 Crazy Talk. However, Germa's operation, although it did restore his majesty, but this is just a process of injuring the enemy by 1,000 and self-destructing by 800. He has destroyed so many countries, and his own damage is naturally not small. It can be said that the vitality is severely damaged, and it has also reached the end of the force. However, in this act of revenge, there was a kingdom that was safe and sound, and was completely unharmed. This is not how strong this kingdom is, on the contrary, this is to say that the strength is quite weak. But the reason why he was not attacked by the kingdom of Germa is because there is a branch of the Summer Chamber of Commerce in this kingdom. Yes, because of the branch of the Summer Chamber of Commerce, this small kingdom called Fatao Kingdom was spared and survived. Germa Kingdom had already invaded the capital of this kingdom, but after seeing the flag of the Summer Chamber of Commerce, they retreated. This made the entire North Blue people understand the power of the Summer Chamber of Commerce at once. As a result, the business of the Summer Chamber of Commerce suddenly became much better. This is what Xia Zhiqing did not expect. This should be the legendary lie to win. Xia Zhiqing said that this feeling is quite good. The battle with the kingdom of Germa made the whole world understand Xia Zhiqing's madness. And the experience of Fatao country has made the influence of the Summer Chamber of Commerce even greater. He suddenly became the target of joining those non-joining countries. This is not what lies and wins. But there is no way. Above this sea, there are thousands of kingdoms, but only a few hundred government countries. The remaining ones have been plundered by pirates and all kinds of chaotic tyrants on the sea all the year round. It is the lifelong wish of many kings to make their country stable and not be bullied. And now, you can get this effect by going to the Summer Chamber of Commerce. This caused the kings of many kingdoms to start taking action one after another, for fear that if they were one step behind, they would lose their places. As a result, I saw that in this infinitely dangerous windless belt, there were broken ships every day, and a bunch of people with torn clothes came here to look for Xia Zhiqing. Xia Zhiqing, of course, was very happy to have negotiated with the representatives of these kingdoms. It's not good to have business delivered to your door. Just to strengthen exchanges between countries and promote economic development. He, Xia Zhiqing, only needs to be a middleman and earn the difference, so why not do it? Sometimes money is so easy to earn. Time, just like this, slowly passed for a long time. Thanks to the blessing of the Kingdom of Jerma, Xia Zhiqing's cooperative branch has grown from 15 in the beginning to 68 now. The middlemen in daily economic exchanges earn the difference, which is enough to make the kings of many countries jealous. In the past time, Xia Zhiqing has been busy with her front feet and her back feet, signing cooperation agreements everywhere. The development of the Summer Chamber of Commerce is on the rise. And Xia Zhiqing's bounty has suddenly increased to 1.048 billion baili, officially standing on the same level as the Three Disasters, Three Generals and others. This bounty, when it was first released, can be said to have caused a turmoil in the boss. A billion bounty, it's scary. Therefore, the first half of the entire Great Route has completely become the world of Xia Zhiqing. No one dares to provoke the Summer Chamber of Commerce. Chapter 384 Murder in Peace. If you want to wear a crown, you must bear the weight. Behind such a far-reaching statement, the hidden may not necessarily be all surprises, it may also be a larger murder. Thunder Hunter, I don't know how long you can continue to be cool. In a certain office, a middle-aged man with braids said this. The situation of the world, because of the existence of Xia Zhiqing, began to become more and more turbulent and unbalanced. More and more kingdoms are joining the Summer Chamber of Commerce, which seriously affects the interests of the world government. Therefore, Marine had to warn Xia Zhiqing, and, correctly, guide those remaining kingdoms to form a situation that relies on Marine to stabilize this increasingly riotous era. In the Summer Chamber of Commerce, with Ace's strong will to become stronger, Xia Zhiqing sent him to the Whitebeard pirates. Just like in the original book, Whitebeard took Ace as his son and made him the captain of the 2nd Division. Ace's bounty has also jumped to 550 million baili, and his identity has also changed from a member of the Summer Chamber of Commerce to a member of the Whitebeard pirates. For Ace's departure, there are still many people in the Summer Chamber of Commerce who have criticism. But Xia Zhiqing didn't say anything, and they naturally didn't want to say too much. However, naturally there is no good face. Joining the Whitebeard pirates may be a good thing for him. Xia Zhiqing didn't feel a pity to send Ace out. For a genius like Ace, giving him a bigger stage can release even more dazzling light. Make the most of it, and it's good. Time, half a year has passed in such a hurry. In the past 6 months, Xia Zhiqing did not do anything else, but continued to strengthen his control over the sudden increase of the Chamber of Commerce branch. He must ensure that all the Chamber of Commerce branches must be within his control. Then, there are 2 more important things to improve the service content of the Chamber of Commerce branch, as well as recruiting staff. His business principles are sincere, justice, and safety, so he must ensure that the service content of each Chamber of Commerce branch is in line with this principle. The Summer Chamber of Commerce is developing silently, everything is so calm, and it is completely impossible to see that Xia Zhiqing has any idea of dominating the world. It is precisely because Xia Zhiqing has no intention of chasing after some One Piece, and unraveling some historical secrets, so the measures taken by the world government against him are not so extreme. Otherwise, with Xia Zhiqing's current strength and influence, if he shows some more intention to dominate, or if he wants to unravel some historical secrets, the world government is estimated to ignore everything and immediately adopt a policy of obliteration against Xia Zhiqing. But even so, the world government has launched a series of preparations to obliterate Shazherqing. The Summer Chamber of Commerce is developing so rapidly now, and the danger of Shazherqing is too strong, and it has to be guarded against. Preventing troubles in the future, the world government knows this better than anyone else. Of course, in the past 6 months, in addition to strengthening control and recruiting people, Shazherqing has also done a very important thing. That is to officially extend his sphere of influence to the New World. Using Tessero as a bridge, with the help of Whitebeard, he successfully established 2 branches and officially began to set foot in the new world of shipping. However, the only fly in the ointment is that under the pressure of the world government, Alabasta terminated the partnership with the Summer Chamber of Commerce. Chapter 385 New Skill, Amoy. Oh, what a pity. Shazherqing naturally felt a pity for the loss of such a big customer as Alabasta. However, since everyone else has left, Shazherqing can only let nature take its course. This day, Shazherqing is sleeping on a certain roof on 9 Snake Island. In the past 6 months, he has been so busy that he has absolutely no time to rest. It's rare to have time now, so naturally, take a good rest. I haven't boosted myself for half a year, and I don't know how much the evolution points accumulated in the past 185 days can make me stronger. Shazherqing is looking forward to that. With so many evolution points, he can reach various situations. He turned on the system, and then looked at the number of the evolution point. It has reached an unprecedented 40,700. The harvest in half a year is really amazing. It would be great if you could bless all of them on Shanyan. It's a pity, I can't. This system does not allow any aspect of his attributes to become strong unilaterally. After the intensity reaches a certain critical point, it will stop. No matter how strong it is, it will have no effect. Moreover, if a certain year was too strong, it would also cause Shazherqing's manipulation to become weaker, thus affecting his performance. Let Shazherqing develop in a balanced way. He divided the 40,700 into 3 parts, with 20,000 blessings on the evolution of Sharatunian, and 20,000 blessings on his own force value. The remaining 700, just in case. Well, it's comfortable. After using the evolution point, Shazherqing only felt an incomparably cool feeling rushed into his head, which made him cry out comfortably. Even though this feeling Shazherqing has experienced a good guy, but every time I experience it, I still feel extremely comfortable, that kind of feeling that seems to make people soar. Shazherqing feels that it is definitely the most wonderful experience in this world. He looked at his system panel. Host, Shazherqing. Writing wheel I status, kaleidoscope 39,570 50,000ths. Pupil power, 91 100ths. Strength, 537. Skills, Chidori series, Thunderbolt series ninjutsu, new ninjutsu lightning armor, flying thunder sword. Illusion series, 3 body art, shadow clone art, 3 color hockey, marine rokushiki. Swordsmanship, Yidao Lulibo, profound truth destroy, Kanri. Ding, it is detected that your Sharingan evolution level is up to standard, and the right eye ability, Amoy, is turned on. Ding, it has been detected that the degree of evolution of your writing wheel has been greatly improved, and the multiplier of Akina has been increased to 8 times. Ding, detected that the evolution level of the host's Sharingan meets the standard, and the qualification to use the full body Susanoo is opened. The system's voice resounded in Shazherqing's mind after a long absence. Shazherqing didn't care too much about the improvement of China, and he completely opened the qualification for use of Sano, but Shazherqing was pleasantly surprised for a while. The complete body Susanoo is not only cool but also powerful. It makes me happy to think about it. But what caught Shazherqing's attention the most was this right eye ability, Amoy. He couldn't help but click on the introduction column below Amoy. Amoy, it can gain insight into the weaknesses of any enemy's moves and provide the host with a more convenient battle boost. Shajurching noticed that there is a special note below the introduction column, which says, after the development reaches a certain level, you can briefly foresee the future and gain insight into the weaknesses of the enemy's upcoming moves. Chapter 386 Complete Body Susano. It's really a useful and powerful skill, hee. It's worthy of being provided by the shaking wheel eye system. Shajurching showed a satisfied smile. Just being able to see into other people's flaws is already very powerful. Not to mention the ability to briefly foresee the future and gain insight into the flaws in other people's tricks. It can almost be said that it is against the sky. However, this sudden surge of so much power, it seems, I have to spend a few days to get used to and control this power. Shajurching got up, and after explaining to Hancock and Anna, he stepped on the moon step and rushed into the sea full of sea kings in the windless belt. In terms of controlling power, what else can be compared to the ocean? The endless pressure, the obscure resistance, and the dense attack of the sea kings are definitely an excellent training place. It's really messed up. Are you really afraid that you won't be able to get out under the siege of the sea kings? Looking at the thunder and lightning emerging from the sea, Anna couldn't help but sigh helplessly. Shajurching is like this. He usually looks lazy, but if he really cultivates, he will die. There are a few people in the world who are as crazy as him, and go straight into the windless belt to cultivate. This is simply dancing on the tip of a knife, and you will be backlashed if you are not careful. Not to mention, Shajurching's crazy move just made the female warrior of Nine Snake Island, who was bored, more fun. That is to watch the thunder and cloud surge on the sea, and watch Shajurching and the Sea Kings fight fiercely. Shajurching would come out every hour, and every time he came out, take a 2-hour break. Every time he came out, his face was extremely pale, physically exhausted. But his power is constantly increasing. In this regard, all the female warriors of Nine Snake Island present felt this way. If the previous Shajurching was like a fierce tiger, domineering and fierce. So now, Shajurching is a prehistoric beast, and his domineering and fierce momentum has increased sharply, making people feel like they are going to suffocate and faint just by staying around him. It was the air in front of him, as if it were about to stop. Time just passed by day. In the blink of an eye, 5 days passed quietly. On this day, when the female warriors of Nine Snake Island were still talking about when Shajurching appeared from the bottom of the sea, they suddenly saw the sea being torn apart. Yes, the endless and deep sea was torn apart, and a hole that was 100 meters long and 50 meters wide was torn open. At this moment, the tsunami surged into the sky, the color of the world changed, and the entire Nine Snake Island was in a violent tremor, and countless sea kings fled with a frightened neigh. And under that huge deep hole, a purple-black 100-meter energy giant appeared in front of everyone. It was a giant in the image of a warrior in armor, with a fierce mask on his face, a burly physique, with wings on his back, holding a sword in the left and a mirror in the right. It exudes a billowing mist, and it floats up from under the ocean. In an instant, a heavy mountain-like oppression descended on the entire Nine Snake Island and the nearby islands. In an instant, a group of beasts screamed in terror, and a group of birds flew away in terror, covering the sky. Even Hancock and the others couldn't help but have a strong urge to just crawl down and surrender to trembling under this energy giant. Chapter 387 God's Power. It's so strong, what the hell is it? Anna couldn't help trembling under the pressure of this momentum, her face pale. She couldn't help looking at Shajurching on the head of the energy giant, and she saw him clasping his hands on his chest, his eyes indifferent, like a god, proud and powerful. Then, he swung a sword against the sea again. Boom! The sky trembled, the air was blurry, and the unimaginable wind and waves directly blasted the female warriors of Nine Snake Island, and both Hancock and Anna were almost thrown out, and they were completely unsteady. But they don't have time to care about this storm, because there are things in front of them that attract their attention. The sea is torn apart again. There was a long gap that spread all the way to the end of the ocean, and a rolling scar of the sky appeared in the sky. The situation changed, the sea wolves continued, just like the end of the world. The good sea was split into 3 pieces like this. The power of God. At this moment, such a sentence appeared in Hancock's mind. Only this sentence can describe all the things that happened in front of her. This is completely beyond her acceptance. It is no longer within the scope of her cognition of the power of human beings. Only gods have this kind of power. Only the gods can cause such terrifying destructive power. Shazherching naturally didn't know how Hancock rated him. Looking at the masterpiece he created, he felt neither sorrow nor joy, and said, "Aki's full power increase, coupled with the complete body Susano, my force value can now briefly reach 641. It's the closest to Marine Admiral's level of force." Shazherching has never fought against Marine Admiral, but since Marine Admiral has the same level of strength as the 4 emperors, then, in terms of Kaido's 661 force value, Marine Admiral's force value should be within the range of 650 to 680. After all, Garp's force value only stops at 670. This kind of strength should be regarded as standing at the top of the world. Sure enough, only when one's strength increases can one feel at ease. After Shazherching thought so, he lifted Susano. The complete body Susano is strong and powerful, but it takes too much chakra. In terms of Shazherching's current chakra volume, it can only last for 20 minutes. This is still now. If it was before, it might be sucked dry in 5 minutes. With the enhancement of Shazherching's strength, his chakra volume is also increasing. The Sherinian system has been transforming Shazherching's body, so that his body has enough capital to control Sherinian. Otherwise, it is impossible for Shazherching to open the full body Susano. Because of his chakra volume and physical strength, he simply can't support the powerful load of the complete body Susano. Of course, in contrast to this, Shazherching's appetite is also increasing. However, this is naturally not a problem for the wealthy Shazherching. One Piece King of Pirates World Food, Shazherching can't eat 1 in a billion in a lifetime. Finished. Anna came over, looked at Shazherching with a refreshed face, and asked. Almost. Shazherching heard Isho and asked with a smile, "How is it?" "It's not bad." Chapter 388 The Son of the Devil. "It's so powerful, I don't know how to describe how powerful you are now." Hancock's face was full of admiration, and he was intoxicated with his scythe head in his hands. And when Hancock was intoxicated, the traces of Shazherching's sword in the sky were also noticed by people outside the windless belt. In an instant, the people nearby could not help but fall into sluggish horror. This in the end, what kind of strength is needed to do it? They looked at the scar of the sky, that was still scrolling for an unknown length in the sky, and all of them were shocked with expressions that were astonishing. This is completely beyond their understanding of human beings. They even once doubted, can human beings really possess such terrifying strength? This is too scary. This can no longer be described by humans. Who can have such strength in such a place? Could it be the Thunder Hunter? After thinking about it, these people only felt that Shazherching on Nine Snake Island, not far from here, could do such a thing. But it's impossible for Shazherching to have this kind of strength. In their imagination, although Shazherching also has this kind of strength, but it is not so strong. Maybe it's another strong one. In the end, they can only explain it like this. But the news media will not miss this big news. Although they don't know who made such a movement. But they can make up random things, fabricating the truth that doesn't exist. Isn't this one of their abilities? After all they need is heat and attention. As long as it can create value for them, there is nothing they dare not do. Marine Headquarters. Nine Snake Island. It can tear apart the sky, such a strong person really can't be ignored. Sengoku looked at the newspaper in his hand and focused on the huge scar of the sky. He knows very well what kind of strength is needed to cause such signs. To put it bluntly, only the strength of Marine Admiral level can cause this phenomenon to the sky. But why didn't Sengoku know that there was suddenly a Marine Admiral level powerhouse on 9 Snake Island? Even a Thunder Hunter can't have this kind of strength. Sengoku was quite puzzled. It seems that the only way is to send someone to take a look. Then, he put down the newspaper and opened a document. On top of this document, there is a large photo with text beside it. In this photo, it is a woman with the image of a mature royal sister, about 26 years old. Did the devil's son Nico Robin show up again? It's really a trouble. Hey, if your clan didn't study those historical taboos, it wouldn't have suffered this catastrophe. And as the only survivor of that clan, if you don't sleep forever, the sea will still cause huge fluctuations because of you. For the interests and safety of most people, I can only sacrifice you. I'm sorry. Sengoku is a full-fledged statesman, and the kindness of women does not exist in him. The first half of the Great Route, on an island. Where is my future? Where will I belong? It's ironic that the world is so big, but I don't have an inch of my foothold. A bronze-skinned woman, breathing with sweat, said. Chapter 389. You can't escape. This woman is none other than Nico Robin in Sengoku's mouth, a terrifying existence known as the son of the devil, feared by people in the sea, and a bounty of 79 million Baileys. She's right ahead, don't let her run away. Yes, it's just a bitch, I don't believe she can get away. Tisk tisk tisk, that's a beautiful woman. In addition to taking the bounty, she might also be able to kiss Fangzi. There was a sudden cry behind Robin, and billowing smoke rose into the sky. Damn, are you chasing after so soon? Hearing the sound, Nico Robin couldn't help but grit her teeth, and then continued to run away. After a while, she escaped to a cliff. No way. And the chasing soldiers are already less than 500 meters away from him. Nico Robin couldn't help but feel a little desperate. Am I going to stop here? Robin thought this way. Her face was quite pale, and she was sweating constantly. If you look closely, you will find that her chest is already blood red. Turns out she was seriously injured. Ship. Suddenly, Nico Robin saw a merchant ship sailing on the sea in the distance, and she couldn't help but see hope again. In my heart, I said, there is no way out of the sky, it seems that my luck is good. She immediately turned to look at the person who was chasing behind him, and then activated her ability, Dazzling 100 Flowers, Big Tree. I saw countless arms grow out of the ground all of a sudden, turned into huge hands and grabbed those who were chasing away. All she had to do was hold on until the ship docked. Gia Gia Gia, Nico Robin, stop struggling, today is your end. If you had the strength before, we might still be a little bit afraid, but now, do you think this kind of trick can still threaten us? Fire. The leader who came in pursuit was extremely ferocious, holding a sharp-toothed sword in his hand, and facing the huge palm that fell towards them, he issued an attack order. Boom. Suddenly, a hail of bullets collided with this big hand. Puff puff. In an instant, the big hand was smashed into a sieve and shattered continuously in the explosion, completely unable to stop the attack of the cannonball. Nicole Robin, surrender. When the leader saw this scene, he was even more proud, and rushed directly to Nico Robin. To take advantage of the situation to take down Nico Robin. It will never let you succeed. Dazzling Flowers Spider Flower. Seeing the person rushing over, Nico Robin shouted again, and a piece of arm that he saw formed a spider web-like thing, and it shrouded the person and went to stop him. Such a weak attack, trying to stop me, Nico Robin, is your brain stupid? As soon as he saw him waving the long sword in his hand, he slashed out a fierce sword wave, tore apart the spider web, and then, like a cheetah, deceived himself in front of Robin. Not good. Seeing this, Robin couldn't help shrinking his pupils. Before he had time to use his ability, he felt a sudden illusion in front of him, and then a suffocation suddenly came from his neck. She was actually grabbed by the neck of this man, and then she was lifted up. Ho! Nico Robin couldn't help struggling suddenly, but when she struggled, I don't know if it affected the wound, but a mouthful of blood spurted out, making her even weaker. Nicole Robin, you're mine now. Seeing this scene, this man couldn't help showing a satisfied smile. Chapter 390 You are mine. Well, can you please let her go? Just at this moment, a voice came from behind Nico Robin, and actually asked this man to put Robin down. Who is looking for my unhappiness? The man immediately looked behind Nico Robin with a fierce look on his face, and then his pupils froze for a while, he couldn't help taking a breath, and his movements became rigid. Is who? Nico Robin couldn't see the scene behind her, but she only felt a huge pressure hit, as if the air was about to freeze. Thunder Hunter Gollum, why you are here? The man almost lost his voice and asked. Thunder Hunter. Hearing this man's words, Nicole Robin suddenly widened her eyes in shock, and then she couldn't help but have infinite vitality in her heart. If it was the Thunder Hunter, she might be saved today. So, Sharktooth Kuji, can you give me Nico Robin? I need her knowledge. Yes, the person who appeared behind Robin was Shajir. Okay, take the same amount of Bailey for in exchange, like how? The man holding Nico Robin is called Kujili. He has a fierce face, but with a tone of lack of courage, he said to Shajir. Hee, you are the first person who dares to negotiate with me. Hearing this, Shajir laughed. Seeing Shajir smile, Kujili couldn't help but panic. He couldn't help but scolded himself secretly. You even negotiated terms with Thunder Hunter, don't you want to live? Just when he was about to explain, Shajir spoke first. 10 million Bailey, how? Yes, yes. Kujili quickly nodded in agreement, then, looking at Shajir, he said, one hand pay, one hand delivery. I didn't bring so much money with me. Shajir words have disappeared and he has appeared in front of Kujili, saying, how about you go back to the Summer Chamber of Commerce with me, and I will pay you the money. Gollum. Looking at Shajir in front of him, Kujili couldn't help swallowing, his body was shaking. Yes. Kuji didn't know how he said this. At this moment, he only felt that his body was completely disobeying his brain. Let's go then. After Shajir put Nico Robin down from Kujili's hand, he grabbed it one by one and jumped directly towards the sea. Ah! Such a bold and exciting way to play can terrify Kuji. And all of his younger brothers have not yet reacted from the shock. 9 Snake Island. Next, you're my Summer Chamber of Commerce guy, Nicole Robin, do it for me. After sending Kujili away, Shajir looked at Nicole Robin who was still in panic and said. What do you want me to do for you? Ease your loneliness, vent your energy, or whatever. Robin put his hands around his chest and asked with a look of vigilance. He, do you think I paid so much to keep you just for the sake of your beauty? He, that's too superficial. What I want to do is. While Shajir was talking, he suddenly got close to Nico Robin, took a deep sniff, and said with a face full of intoxication, drain all your value. I need your knowledge and your means. Chapter 391 Sengoku Can't Sit Still. My knowledge. You want to get your hands on 100 years of secrets blocked by world governments. NLT, P and GT. Hearing Shajir words, Nico Robin couldn't help but say in shock. He, I'm not interested in the world government's 100-year secret, I'm just a little interested in the final island, Laugh Tale. Shajir believes that anyone who travels through the world of One Piece, King of Pirates will have such an idea. Arrive at Laugh Tale and see what One Piece is. Why One Piece, King of Pirates? Roger laughed and said he was early after arriving at Laugh Tale. Also, why is the world government so afraid of the Roger pirates who have reached Laugh Tale? Then you want me to translate historical texts to help you find your way to Laugh Tale. Nico Robin spoke up and said with certainty. Not bad. How, are you willing to work for me? Shajir looked at Nico Robin with a confident smile on her face. If I say no, you should kill me. Nico Robin glanced at Shajirching and said this. Hee hee, how could it be? If you don't agree, I have another position for you. Of course, since you promised to translate historical texts for me, I think you wouldn't mind helping me manage the Summer Chamber of Commerce a little, right? From today, you are Anna's deputy, help her share some affairs. Shajirching's words were very firm, and there was absolutely no room for Robin to refuse. As long as you're not afraid of me revealing your secret, you can let me do this kind of thing. Robin said with a smile. You don't need to be suspicious, you don't need to be suspicious. At least, stay with me, I won't guard against you, and I won't be against you. Leave me, in this vast sea, there shouldn't be anyone as good as me. Besides, you are the one who I spent 10 million Bailey's funds. If you leave, I will have a headache. Shajirching responded to Robin with a smile on her face, sounding sincere, but her tone was full of threats. Robin squinted his eyes and said, then let time prove it. However, I have to explain first, the people who took me in, the final result is not very good, you have to be mentally prepared. Especially you, Thunder Hunter. Hearing Robin's words, Shajirching burst out laughing, then used time to prove it. After finishing speaking, he said to Anna who was beside him, I'll leave it to you. Anna looked at Robin, her eyes full of badness, and said coldly, come with me. This made Robin's heart sink and said, it seems that the future will be difficult. Marine Headquarters. The Thunder Hunter saved Nico Robin. What the hell is he trying to do? When I saw this news, Sengoku couldn't sit still. Could it be that he also wants to get his hands on the blank 100-year history of the world government? Thunder Hunter, what are you trying to do? Don't make trouble for this already unstable sea. Otherwise, the old man has no choice but to take the risk of getting rid of you. Sengoku's heart is heavy. But even more excited than Sengoku are the Gorosei, 5 elders of the world government. Nico Robin, that's the person their world government has named to kill. Her existence is a threat to the world government itself. Chapter 392. Can such a person be Shichibukai too? Let CP0 go out, find a chance, and bring me Nico Robin back. This and women must be in our hands, the secrets of the world government must be in our hands, and cannot be known by the rest of the sea. Holding the Gorosei, 5 elders of the first generation of Onito, gave the order. Yes. In the empty hall, there was a faint sound of answering, and then, the place was quiet again. Elsewhere above the sea. What is the Thunder Hunter going to do? Son of the devil, what is the purpose? With Shajirching's current strength, every step will attract the attention of the sea. Thunder Hunter, what do you want to do? Dressrosa, Doflamingo held a newspaper in his hand, grinning horribly. The newspaper in his hand contained a relatively important news. HMPH, New Shichibukai. Interesting. His eyes focused on the avatar in the newspaper, and a meaningful smile appeared in his eyes. Aren't you afraid that you won't be able to hold the position of Shichibukai with such a newcomer? He smiled like this, very presumptuously. Perhaps, this is the reason why Marine really can't find anyone. This new Shichibukai is a very handsome young man, dressed like a prince, riding a white horse and dressed in white. The White Horse Cavendish is a name I have never heard of. Doflamingo dropped the newspaper and just lay down. The rest of the sea. With a bounty of 200 million, can such a person become Shichibukai? Marine really can't find anyone. Some pirates looked at this new Shichibukai with scornful smiles. Compared with Thunder Hunter, it's really far behind. It doesn't give people a sense of security at all. I haven't heard of it at all. I really don't know how Marine chose him to be Shichibukai. Can such a person be Shichibukai too? In fact, let alone the pirates scoffing, the people on the sea are completely distrustful. After all, in the entire Shichibukai team, only Cavendish is the least famous. Check out other Shichibukai, be it the Sand Crocodile, Gecko Moria, Tyrant Bear, hungry gweens. Heavenly yaksha doflamingo, hawk I'm a hawk, which one is not as powerful as the white horse Cavendish, famous. But in fact, Marine is also suffering. I also don't want to enable white horse Cavendish if I can, but... Sengoku seemed to know the reaction of the sea, and smiled bitterly. There is really no one more suitable than Cavendish. Sengoku took another look at the Shichibukai candidates he had considered. Then, he couldn't help but sigh again. Other people, either not strong enough, or too cruel. It's really not suitable for Shichibukai. The most annoying thing is that in the hands of the Thunder Hunter, there are a lot of people who are suitable for Shichibukai. Unfortunately, we are too slow to grasp these talents. Shichibukai in Sengoku's mouth refer to the three of Enel, Tezzolo, and Ace. Even if you take a step back, Gills, Didia, Pazalu, Julian are also qualified. Unfortunately, all talents were taken away by the Thunder Hunter. And I don't have time to go to the folk selection. Sengoku sighed, and then went to work. Chapter 393 Golden Lion, Advent. Sengoku is very clear that on this vast sea, there are many folk masters. For example, in the first half of the Great Route, there is a place with a climate that is even more terrifying than the New World, called the Land of Sunshine. In this country, everyone is ruthless and has a great sense of justice, but they have been living in hiding. And in this country, there is a reclusive strong man named Isho, who is said to be a blind swordsman. Back then, Yan Jajin, a member of the 100 Beasts Pirates, went there to do business and had a conflict with the people. And then, it was this unremarkable blind swordsman who made the flames die there. If it wasn't for Kaido's presence, I'm afraid there would be no such person in this world. Another example is a certain country near North Blue, where birds and flowers are fragrant, and desserts are abundant. There is a man who has not eaten for 10 years, without a name. But I heard that it was because of his existence that the Bigumum pirates dared not make up their minds. And there are not a few strong people who live in seclusion at sea. But wanting to recruit these powerhouses is a laborious and time-consuming thing. And Sengoku now, the most short of time. On this day, Shajirching was accompanying Anna on the Sky Island. Suddenly, he saw a behemoth suddenly falling from the sky north of Mok Town. Bang! Before Shajirching could react, an extremely heavy muffled sound spread throughout the entire Mok Town, causing the entire sky to groan. I saw the Mok Town in all directions, all the smoke billowing, and all the things fell down, and the movement was very loud. Shajirching suddenly felt a ferocious aura, which gave him a very bad premonition. What's the matter? Shajirching was just about to run the kaleidoscope to observe the situation, when his head suddenly turned black, which made him look up immediately, and then, Rao Shajirching, his pupils shrank all of a sudden. The shadow on his head turned out to be an island several times bigger than Mok Town. Hey, don't tell me, it's that guy. The moment Shajirching saw this floating island, an electric light suddenly flashed in his mind, a legendary name and a strange face appeared in his mind. Summer Chamber of Commerce, ha ha ha, finally let me find it. At this time, from the top of Shajirching's head, a happy voice came like a red bell. I saw an old man with a golden robe and long golden hair descending. His legs were bloodless from the knees, replaced by 2 famous knives that looked good. The most important thing is that he has a big rudder stuck on his head. It looks so weird. But Shajirching couldn't even laugh at all. Hey, it's actually this guy. Why would such a legendary person come looking for me? Seeing the old man who fell in front of them and looked down from a height, Shajirching's heart sank to the bottom in an instant. He pulled Anna behind him in an instant, and said solemnly, Senior Golden Lion Shiki, I don't know if you are here, what advice do you have? Roar. At this time, from all over Mok Town, there was a sudden roar of beasts, and suddenly, the entire Mok Town fell into chaos. Shajirching quickly let go of observation hockey. Oh, the beasts with different shapes but completely beyond the normal range are raging on Mok Town at the moment. Gills, Enel and others have already led troops to stop it. Chapter 394 Only Fight. Jia ha ha ha, I didn't expect you to know me, not bad. Hearing Shajur-Ching call out his name, Golden Lion showed a very satisfied smile. Hee hee, I almost pushed One Piece, King of Pirates Roger into a corner. And with going Roger, Whitebeard is known as the legendary Three Pirates, almost destroyed the Marine headquarters, the first and last to escape from the Emperor prison successfully. Quote. The bounty is 4.082 billion Bailey, the Flying Admiral Golden Lion. I just don't want to know a peerless powerhouse like you, that's impossible. Shajur-Ching's eyes were extremely solemn, and Anna, who was listening to these words behind him, couldn't help but take a deep breath. As famous as Whitebeard, doesn't that mean that his strength is the same as Whitebeard? Anna began to understand why Shajur-Ching's face was solemn. This is definitely the strongest enemy they have ever encountered. Jia ha ha ha, I'm more and more interested in you, kid, join me, let's take revenge against the world government. How? Boy, you know, the last person I could personally invite was One Piece, King of Pirates Roger. I really value you. Golden Lion extended a soliciting hand to Shajur-Ching and said very sincerely. Hee hee, sincere solicitation. Is that what you did? While destroying my homeland with beasts, tell me here that you are sincere. Unexpectedly, Shajur-Ching couldn't help laughing after listening to it. I'm sorry, I refuse, I can't feel your sincerity. Boy, think about the consequences of rejecting me. Hearing that, Shajur-Ching rejected him directly. Golden Lion's face suddenly darkened, and he made a bad threat. I've joined the Whitebeard Pirates. Golden Lion, you're late. Shajur-Ching is still not completely sure of winning the Golden Lion, especially in the air. This guy's fluffy fruit is simply the nemesis of air combat. Once he starts a war with him, Mocktown may not be able to keep it, so if he can, he doesn't want to fight, so he moved out of Whitebeard. I hope he can be afraid. Jia ha ha ha, what if I joined Newgate's subordinates? I just wanted you to join my subordinates today. Did you refuse again? Golden Lion said with a big laugh, a completely unbridled threat. With his identity and character, no one can refuse him. When he opens his mouth, others must agree to him. Otherwise, you are rebelling against him. And disobeying him, there is only one way to die. That is to say, only by defeating you can you give up this idea. Shajur-Ching's hand has been placed on the fire at his waist. Jia ha ha ha, boy, you actually want to fight me, do you think you have that ability? Hearing Shajur-Ching's words, Golden Lion couldn't help laughing. Laughing extremely arrogantly, but he has the capital. If you have that ability, you will know if you try it. Golden Lion, come on, let me see what kind of level the legendary pirates are in order to have the ability to escape from the Imperial prison. Shajur-Ching pulled out the flow fire, covered armament hockey, opened the kaleidoscope writing wheel, and pushed Anna out. In the next battle, it is not for Anna to intervene. Come on then. Seeing this, Golden Lion also laughed. Chapter 395 Devastating Battle. Base. Golden Lion lifted his foot, he shot out a terrifying sword wave. Under the influence of this sword wave, the surrounding Kangxi became blurred in an instant. The earth is like tofu, and it is quickly torn open with long openings, which is extremely terrifying. One blade stream Libo. Achi's eightfold increase was turned on, and Shajur-Ching also blasted out a sword wave that changed the color of the square, and collided fiercely with the Golden Lion's move. Boom! In an instant, the entire mock town was shaken, and a 100-meter hole was directly blown up. The violent wind and waves directly blew Anna on the side. If it wasn't for her elementalization in time, the horror would have been injured by the aftermath. Shave. Shajur-Ching disappeared in place in an instant, and the extremely fast-tearing air rushed in front of Golden Lion, with a cold sword intent lingering all over his body, and a sword burst out of the air. Bang! Golden Lion naturally raised his legs and fought away without any effort. Bang! 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 The long knife in Shajur-Ching's hand slashed out quickly, with great strength, speed, and incomparably powerful power. Even the golden lion, he couldn't help showing a dignified expression and responded. Boom boom boom. The unimaginable aftermath raged in all directions, shattering everything around, and devastated. Mixed with the horrified voices of the rest of Mock Town, it really feels a bit doomsday. In a blink of an eye, 100 strokes passed. Little devil, your strength is really good, but... Having said this, Golden Lion suddenly grinned Isho, but unfortunately, the warm-up is almost over here. After all, he kicked out a knife again, completely splitting the surrounding air, and Shajur-Ching's clothes burst in an instant. This sword has the power to break the sky. Bang! Shajur-Ching slammed his sword against it, and an extremely gorgeous spark was splashed instantly, and the air exploded directly. Anna was blown away and vomited blood before she had time to react. In this aftermath, there is a thick emission hockey wrapped in it, completely unable to defend. PFF'd. Even Shajur-Ching suddenly changed his face, and then, a mouthful of blood spurted out, he slammed into the air and flew backwards. Little devil, you are hundreds of years too early to challenge me. Golden Lion instantly deceived himself and approached, without even using his abilities, he just kicked out an incomparable sword wave, chopping. Om! The air trembled, and the female warrior of 9 Snake Island below saw an even more terrifying scene. The sky was actually torn apart. Yes, a big hole with a length of several kilometers was torn, rolling and rolling, unimaginable horror. What happened? How could there be such a terrifying movement all of a sudden? Hancock looked at the scene in the sky and instinctively felt bad. Did Shajur-Ching meet an enemy? Hancock didn't have time to think, so he rushed directly to the liftoff base and went to see the Mock Town above. What happened? Shajur-Ching is here. Complete body Susano. In the face of this terrifying sword wave in front of him, all the hairs on his body exploded. He didn't dare to neglect, and he entered his strongest form so far. Bang! A thick purple-black hand held the sword to block the blow, but Shajur-Ching spat out a mouthful of blood again. The power of this blow made him feel the heaviness of the entire sea falling down. Chapter 396 Kid, you're still a long way off. Then, with this arm as the starting point, the complete body Susano appeared in front of the Golden Lion. This trick is a bit interesting. Seeing the complete body Susano appearing in front of him, Golden Lion's face suddenly showed a high fighting intent. Of course. Shajur-Ching shouted, and the kaleidoscope ran wildly, and the Golden Lion was knocked back. The profound truth of Kendo extermination. Complete body Susano raised his hand, chakra rolled, and the long sword in his right hand collapsed into the air, tearing apart the surrounding clouds in an instant. Even Golden Lion couldn't help but his face changed greatly, shouting, Lion Chitani cut. Quote. His whole body was full of stern sword intent, and then he turned into several sword waves and split his legs out. The sword waves were so big that they would cover the entire Mock Town. Bang! The sky trembled violently, and the ground beneath Susano's feet exploded directly, and violent air waves raged out. Boom! But the complete body Susano was so shaken out that he couldn't resist the Golden Lion's blow, and the entire Mock Town trembled, leaving a series of deep footprints. Little devil, feel the gap between us. Seeing this scene, Golden Lion stepped into the air to going again and activated his abilities. Lion Power Earth Scroll. The ground under the feet of Shajur-Ching was lifted up, and then turned into several huge lion heads, and rushed towards Shajur-Ching with the power of crushing. Come on then. In the face of this blow, Shajur-Ching also shouted violently. No matter what, he had to drive away the Golden Lion today, and Susano just saw him slashing out with his sword, stirring the whole sky. Bang! The lion's head was shrouded in the hard armament hockey. This sword with the power to break the world was actually blocked, and the rocks in all directions were shot flying. And just when Shajur-Ching blocked the attack that came in front of him, another lion appeared behind him and bit him fiercely. Shajirching didn't dare to neglect, so he blocked the shield with his left hand. But this is not enough. There was another powerful sound of breaking the air behind Shajirching, but he saw two huge lion heads rushing over to knock Shajirching down. "Little devil, what are you fighting with me?" Seeing this scene, Golden Lion showed a proud look, and manipulated the huge lion head to completely engulf Shajirching. Amoy! Shajirching drank violently, the ability of his right eye turned rapidly, and then, he struck out again with a stern sword intent. The profound truth of kendo extermination. This sword attacked from the weak point of this move. Thorn. The lion's head was torn apart, and the violent sword intent flew in all directions. As soon as Shajirching's mind moved, Susaneng almost slashed out again. This strike seems to be only one sword, but, in the eyes of Golden Lion, this sword seems to be transformed into thousands of thousands in an instant, completely putting him in the sea of sword intent, and there is absolutely no room for evasion. It's interesting, kid. But this just aroused the fighting spirit of Golden Lion. Golden Lion has not met such a talented person as Shajirching for a long time. He also attacked with all his strength, and it was a sword wave blasting out from the sky, and he went straight to the touch. Bang! The universe was shattered, and the sky changed color. Both were knocked back out. Eat my sword. Even though Susano is so big, his movements are not ambiguous at all, and a very flexible sword smashes down. Chapter 397 Unforgiving. Facing this blow, Golden Lion immediately wanted to wave his sword to resist, but Shajirching shot faster than him. Kaleidoscope Gold Binding Technique. A wave strong enough to shake the entire sky erupted, and it was directly wrapped into the Golden Lion. Not good. The moment he was enveloped by this power, the Golden Lion screamed no good. He actually found that his body was imprisoned. How could this be possible? He didn't even have time to break free, he just covered armament hockey on his chest, and then, he felt a terrifying sword intent that was enough to tear his soul, and the terrifying force that destroyed the mountain, attacking it like a sandbag. Boom out. PFF'd. Golden Lion spat out a big mouthful of blood, and the blood filled the sky. Thunderbolt, Heavenly Tribulation and Thunder Punishment. Shajirching quickly formed the seal, and in an instant, Susano turned into a god of thunder, and the sky above him instantly gathered dark clouds, and then, a thunder column that seemed to be able to penetrate the entire earth, crashed down. Old man, how can I be defeated by thunder again? Facing the thunder pillar that was completely aimed at him, the Golden Lion roared fiercely, kicked his legs and swung a sword wave wrapped in power. Boom! At the moment of the collision, the sky and the earth rumbled, and the thunder light flashed across the sky. The sword wave was so fierce that it ripped apart the thunder and lightning, and under the influence of his ability, the thunder and lightning were like air, floating away. Golden Lion, come again. Shajirching manipulated Susano to strike again, and within 20 minutes, he must defeat the Golden Lion. Little devil, you can hurt me, you are already very good. Then, let me use all my strength too. In the face of this blow, Golden Lion came straight ahead, and then kicked the chakra energy sword. Bang! It seemed that there was a thunderbolt bursting out, and then Shajirching felt that there was a supreme upward force acting on his face, offsetting all his power. Then, when there was no sword intent, it was blasted away mercilessly by the terrifying power that erupted from the Golden Lion. Lion Chitani Kiri. Golden Lion shouted loudly, and the 4 sword waves flew out. Shajirching was shocked, and quickly blocked the shield on his left hand in front of him. PFF'd. But he still underestimated the strength of Golden Lion. This blow even smashed his shield into cracks. PFF'd. Suffering this heavy damage, Shajirching suddenly spit out a mouthful of blood, but it was not over yet. The Golden Lion bullied again, and 4 terrifying sword waves blasted out, completely unavoidable. PFF'd. Susano was hit hard, and Shajirching spat out a mouthful of blood again, so that Susano's body was a little unstable. Puff puff. Golden Lion seizes the opportunity, it will naturally come in a series of overwhelming attacks. Even if he is completely invincible, he will be beaten all at once, and his body will be crippled. With blood and tears, it is extremely terrifying. Little devil, let me show you the strength of the legendary pirate. Golden Lion is unforgiving, and he has to attack again, but Shajirching is not a person to be provoked, shouting, kaleidoscope golden binding technique. With this move, the Golden Lion had absolutely no way to stop it, so he was hit. Chapter 398 Fiery. How could my Golden Lion trip over the same place twice? Drive me. After being hit by Shajirching's illusion, the Golden Lion immediately burst out with a terrifying conqueror haki, and broke out of this illusion. But in the process of Golden Lion breaking free, Shajirching has already responded. Golden Lion, enlighten me. Lay dun Akina Kilin. Shajirching roared, pointing to the sky. A violent thunder and lightning gathered from his body and rushed into the sky. Next moment. Roar. A huge unicorn head covering a radius of several kilometers suddenly protruded its head from above the clouds, aimed at the Golden Lion, and roared down. The mere thunder and lightning, but also want to help me, boy, you are too naive. Golden Lion drank violently, and the whole person's breath became cold. Facing the falling thunder and lightning unicorn head, he lifted his foot and 10 sword waves fiercely continuously rushed out, colliding with the thunder and lightning fiercely. Boom boom boom. It was a collision that was like destroying the world, and the mock town below them couldn't bear it enough to fall directly into the blue sea. On the 9 Snake Island below, stones with a diameter of more than 10 meters and more than 20 meters were poured into the sea like a meteor shower, causing great waves. Now, even the most sluggish people know that something has happened in the mock town above them. What kind of enemy did you encounter in this level of collision, Lord Thunder Hunter? Why did they encounter the enemy, but we didn't find any trace of the enemy at all? Could it be that the enemy appeared directly from the sky? Marigo and the others thought this very puzzled. In the sky over 9 Snake Island, at this moment, the clouds are like a vortex, covering a whole thousands of feet, and they are still turning. In the clouds, fierce auras are constantly erupting, which is extremely amazing. Damn, where did these terrifying monsters come from? How can they be so strong? And the person who fought with the president, what is the origin? His strength is too terrifying. Just the aftermath can make us unable to approach. Even Katakuri has no such ability. Enel growled in his heart, he felt like he was hit. Thinking of his dignified Thor, even with the 3 disasters, the 3 generals dare to pull the wrench, but now, he is blocked by the aftermath and unable to go. What is this? However, after seeing that Anna couldn't get close, he felt a little more balanced. Back to Shajirching again. The profound truth of Kendo Kanri. When the Golden Lion was fighting against this thunder and lightning, Susano had already gathered all his strength and stabbed with a sword. This sword, as if it is going to pierce even this planet, has supreme pressure and power. Even the Golden Lion can't help showing a look of astonishment. But it's not enough. Golden Lion drank wildly, his abilities exploded, his sword intent was restrained and condensed into a single point, and it collided with this sword. Ding! Hearing such an incomparably clear burst of people, Enel and the others couldn't help showing a look of astonishment. This sound is like a 9-day furious thunder, which will blow their souls to pieces. Chapter 399 Golden Lion, defeated. Boy, have to admit your strength strong. Kantai me, you are the 3rd after Newgate, Roger. But how long can you support in this state? A confident look on Golden Lion's face, he said, as long as I disarm the island now, the island floating on your head will immediately destroy your 2 island bases with the force of billions. And LT, P and GT. Surrender, losing to me is not a humiliation for you. Hearing this, Shajirching smiled, with infinite madness in his eyes, and said, my favorite thing is being in control stubborn. Golden Lion I will not surrender. Akina, overload give me a boost. Shajirching roared, and a piece of blood flowed out from his left eye, causing him to cover his eyes and scream. Seeing this scene, Golden Lion couldn't help laughing. Ha ha ha, don't be brave anymore, kid, no matter how brave you are, it won't change. But unfortunately, he stopped abruptly before he finished speaking. Bang! Golden Lion felt that the power above Susano suddenly increased a lot. He didn't have time to react at all, and was slammed into the air. PFF'd. The terrifying power almost broke his thigh, causing him to spit out another mouthful of blood. Kaleidoscope magic, the art of shackles. Shajirching gritted his teeth and shouted. A wave that dispelled the air enveloped the Golden Lion. As for Shajirching, he only felt that his eyes were hurting as if they were being screwed in a constant 360-degree rotation, and blood was constantly flowing out of his eyes, causing his left eye vision to be completely lost. But Shajirching knew that it was all worth it. Thunderbolt, heavenly tribulation and thunder punishment. Shajirching gritted his teeth, and in the dark clouds in the sky, the thunder and snakes rolled and screamed, with a terrifying position, which made the scalp tingle. Fall. At the moment when the words fell, a super-large thunder light that could be called a world-destroying thunder crashed down. Shajirching. Golden Lion fail again to Raiden. No. The Golden Lion, who was hit by the magic trick, didn't break free until the thunder and lightning approached, but it was too late to prepare for any counterattack. Ah! Under the increase of China, the intensity of this thunderbolt reached 300 million volts. Even the Golden Lion could not resist the thunderbolt of this intensity. In almost a second, he completely lost his combat effectiveness and was dying. Boy, let me see how you handle that island attack. Golden Lion gave a final roar, full of schadenfreude. Then, it landed heavily on the ground, charred black. Then don't worry about it. Hearing this, Shajirching gritted his teeth and responded, and then, he couldn't help covering his eyes and fell to the ground in pain, blood flowing out of his palms. The complete body Susano almost disappeared a lot in an instant. Boom. Without the ability of Golden Lion, the island he brought no longer floats in the air, and just fell down. If this island falls, I am afraid that Mock Town and Sky Island will be destroyed. Enel, Lei Ying. But Shajirching is not afraid, because he has Enel here who can destroy an island with one blow. Chapter 400 Closing. If I met the Golden Lion in its heyday, I would probably have to surrender, but since he escaped from prison, he lost his legs, and his strength has been affected to some extent. The force value can reach 645. It's within my reach. However, my state is not much better. Shajirching smiled bitterly. Because of his serious injury, his chakra is almost exhausted. If he doesn't fight hard, he will really lose to Golden Lion. And Enel in the distance, listening to Shajirching's words, suddenly revealed a lifeless look. But before he could refuse, Shajirching suddenly spewed out a mouthful of blood, and then Susano shattered directly, and he also smashed heavily on the ground. Injury after injury. Seeing this scene, Anna immediately rushed towards Shajirching with a worried look on her face. And Enel, seeing this, couldn't help laughing bitterly. It seems that now only I can do this. That's it. As soon as he said this, he immediately transformed into a huge thunder god, stretched out his hand. Ho! The thunder cloud that Shajirching had created earlier was gathered by him again, and then, a huge thunder came out of him. It was injected into the thunder cloud. Boom! Immediately, the thunder exploded, shining in all directions, like the anger of the gods, shocking people's hearts. 200 million volts laying. Enel gave an order, and in an instant, the entire Sky Island, the sky above Mock Town, was shrouded in a dazzling, but extremely thunderous light. Boom! The fallen island suddenly shattered and turned into countless terrifying stones, about to smash the Mock Town. Mudslide. Anna's voice came over, and when she waved her hand, it was a huge circular earthen hood, wrapping Mock Town into it. Boom boom boom. At the moment when the earth flow cover protected Mock Town, the sound of endless bombardment came violently. Moved the whole sky. The power of this gravel is quite strong. Even Anna couldn't help but feel extremely difficult, and the earth hood made the sound of VV's shattering, which was worrying. In this way, the terrifying movement lasted for about 20 seconds, and finally calmed down. As for Mock Town, it was covered in dust, and the earth flow hood slowly cracked open, revealing the scene inside that was also broken due to the battle. Cough, it seems that this disaster is over. Shajur-Ching glanced at Anna beside him, and after giving her an order to keep Golden Lion under strict watch, he rolled his eyes and fainted. The writing wheel is overloaded, and he has to lie on the boat for half a month. And Anna, who saw her lover, was so badly injured because of a golden lion. The look in the golden lion's eyes was stern and cold. You'd better pray that nothing will happen to Lord Shajur-Ching, otherwise, you will feel better. Anna contained the golden lion in her mudflow space, and then directed Enel and the others to carry out the aftermath in an orderly manner. Besides Shajur-Ching, Chopper has also arrived and is dealing with his injury. After Anna and the others finished dealing with Mock Town, Hancock finally got hurt all over. The aftermath of the battle between Shajur-Ching and Golden Lion was too terrifying. In order to get up, Hancock fell a dozen times during the shock, and almost fell into the sea several times. Moreover, every time, he suffered a lot of injuries.